She wears 5 rings, Bulgari watch, beer stains, lip ray, her lips are gloss, but she only talks to me when she's bored. She likes her boys tied up in knots like a necklace.
Hi friends, it's Nathan, a graduated pharmacy student currently studying for my board exams. Welcome to the channel, welcome back to my channel. We're continuing on with the series. 2 days ago, I finished my jurisprudence exam. If you haven't seen that vlog, I will link it above here. Finished it, it went well. I'll let you guys see. I'm not gonna give any spoilers so you can watch it and see how it went. Now we're moving on to my therapeutics exam, which is the big 5-hour long multiple choice exam. We'll be covering everything of pharmacy school basically, and I'll admit, like, I'm so behind on my study schedule. I have not been able to balance jurisprudence and therapeutics together. I've never been able to balance exam studying. I've always do one thing at a time. And so now that jurisprudence is over, we can give this our full attention. So let me show you my updated study schedule because we have a lot of catching up to do these next few days. We want to get back on track. All these cardiology topics were supposed to be during my jurisprudence days, but I wasn't able to manage the two. So we've now pushed it to the following days. Now we're going to start off with calculations, and getting through these other 3 topics will be ambitious, but we'll try our best and we'll see where we go. For calculations, I'm basically going through the lecture and just doing the examples alongside the slides. The easiest way to actually understand it, to remember the processes. And so I think there's like 80 questions I need to go through that each cover different styles. So once we get through that, we'll be done.
But I'm just the one she keeps in her drawer. Well, if I'm another trophy you forgot, then I wonder why I'm here at all. Is your love a lie? I believe.
Super simple lunch today. I have a KFC chicken sandwich, an egg tart, and a mooncake. This is the formula sheet that they give, but clearly it's very bare, and so I'm just writing down important formulas in red to memorize. With math, there's things that I will understand and things that I will just memorize because it's easier to memorize than to understand. So I'm on the topic of dilutions, which is like parts per million or parts per billion. So if we're doing a weight dilution, that'll be basically 6 zeros as a factor. So we'll do from a milligram over a kilogram. But then if you're doing it as a weight over a volume, then it's only 3 zeros instead of 6 zeros. I don't know why. The example would be 1 milligram over a liter. Like, technically only makes sense as like 3 zeros because like a milliliter to a liter is only 1,000. I don't know. It makes sense in my head when I memorize it. If I try to understand it, then I just get overwhelmed. So some things are better to go through that route.
Completely is your touch a knife, cause you're cutting me deeply. It's all I am to you. Your true will hate. If I let became something resilient.
That really brought me back because I haven't done algebra like that in so long. Like, it reminds me of my high school chemistry days. Like, that's crazy. I'm like getting stressed out because I'm trying to do this alligation problem where we use like the system of parts and we like cross subtract, and it just doesn't make sense to me. And I'm trying to just kind of memorize again how to do the question. So if I see it on the exam, I'll just follow those steps. But I've tried to understand it for the past like 20 minutes and I don't. So I'm not gonna waste my time anymore and we're just gonna move on. Like, you gotta know what you can understand and what you need to memorize. Very important. This is a skill that I've learned very early on in my educational career that has actually saved me so much time and saved me so many marks as well. It's nighttime and I'm still here doing calculations, and it's just taking me the whole day, and obviously it's not ideal because I had other chapters that I wanted to get through, but I guess like this is important, so I'm just trying to give it the time it needs, and once I'm done, I'll be done it. I don't have to worry about it, but yeah. I'm also like really surprised at the topics they're covering because of course I was expecting the dosing calculations, opioid conversions, all that stuff, but they're now going through chemistry, milli equivalents, acid-base chemistry. I haven't done that since my undergrad. First 2 years of, general science in 2018, 2019. It's been a long time, so I'm just trying to go through it, but it is taking a lot longer than expected. Unit conversions is the most satisfying way to do chemistry because if you know what you're starting off with and know what you want to end up with, it's just a matter of crossing things out.
Throw me away. that she won't abdicate.
I'm about to go insane because I just spent 30 minutes on a question, an isotonicity and freezing point question, which may not even be on the exam. Like, there's not a high chance of it because it's not like a critical topic. It just did not make sense to me, and I'm already like so exhausted that my brain isn't operating at full capacity. So I'm trying to understand it. The lecture notes are saying one thing, the lecture video is doing another thing. Like, they're still getting the same answer, but they're doing it in a different way, and it was just confusing me so much. I finally understand it, but yeah, I think this is enough for tonight because I'm about to explode. So we're gonna finish up the last part of the calculations tomorrow, which is the parental calculations, and then there's some review problems, and then we'll be done calculations, and I never have to look at it again until we do our mock exams the 2 days before the actual exam. So we just need to push through, and then once we're done, we're done. I really hate math, guys. I've never liked math.
Nothing has been the same, yeah, ever since you.
Good morning. I just finished a walk to clear my head. I just needed some time to think and be with myself. I actually haven't seen anyone apart from my parents the entire time since moving back in with them, and I just needed some space to breathe. But during this walk, I started making comparisons with how my exams feel to how my clinical rotations were, because in episode 1 of the Road to Pharmacist Licensure, if you haven't seen it, I'll link it above here, I talked about how my mental health got really bad during this time, and I almost feel like it is round 2 clinical rotations with these exams. Like, I feel so boxed in. I feel like I'm just treading water, trying to keep my head above and not drown. It's a difficult time, but I look back at my clinical rotations and I see how I overcame them. I see how I pushed myself, and I am stronger because of those experiences, just like how I will get through these exams and I will be better after these experiences. And so I just wanted to share that and talk about mental health and how it's so important to acknowledge and address these things, and specifically why I wanted to talk about BetterHelp, who is the paid advert of this video. BetterHelp is a mental health platform that connects you with a credentialed therapist that is trained to listen to you and give you helpful, unbiased advice. I know there can be so many stigmas and barriers to accessing support, but BetterHelp makes it easy. You answer a few questions and they'll match you with a personalized professional as soon as possible. And therapy is completely online via video call, phone call, or messaging, so you can choose whichever you feel comfortable with. And as much as we think that we are lone wolves and independent, and I'm very guilty of this, we do need support. So let BetterHelp connect you with a therapist. Visit betterhelp.com/NathanWoo, which is linked below, or you can choose Nathan Woo during sign up to get a special discount on your very first month. I've properly healed from my clinical rotations, which is why I can now handle these exams. And once you properly heal, you will also be able to take your experiences, take those scars, wear them proudly, and with the new knowledge you gain, you'll have so much comfort and clarity to tackle any similar situation or new situation you encounter. I just wanted to share that, and let's go inside now because it is freezing.
Coming into my orbit.
Good morning. The sun is shining. It's a new day. I'm feeling rested. I'm feeling motivated, and I'm ready to catch up. So this morning, I want to get through calculations. Let's just get it done. It's been dragged on way too long. So without further ado, cue time lapse.
Be my satellite, but how do I pull you closer when you're in outer space? Want you to crash into me. Just want your love, your love.
I'm done learning all my calculations, so I'm now moving on to the practice problems, and this will really show if I can look at a question and identify the process to get the answer. That's the tricky part about math, because I find that I'll look at the solution and be like, oh, okay, I know how to do it, but I didn't know how to start. You know what I mean? I didn't know what step to do based on the information provided. So that is the skill I'll be practicing now with my practice problems. I'm looking at the first question and I already don't know how to do it. It's an aliquot question, so of course. After 15 pages of calculations, I'm done this chapter. Look at my desk. It's like absolutely disgusting, all the eraser shavings. I'm just gonna get a vacuum and clean this up, and then we're gonna head over for lunch. Also, I would say my comfortability with calculations on a scale of 1 to 10 is a 6 right now, which is quite low, but I think as I do more practice problems throughout the weeks, being exposed to more questions, then I'll get more comfortable because they can only ask so many questions, and that's like my thought process. Like if I can just encounter as many as possible, then I'll know how to do them.
Your love, 'cause I'm so in love, in love, in love. Ooh, baby, what's the point in being?
For the therapeutics content of the exam that I need to memorize, I'll be using Anki. Now, if this is your first time coming across my videos, I use Anki different than how most people use it. I use a technique that I developed myself called single day spaced repetition. It's intense, it's effective. I have a video breaking down exactly in detail what it is and how to do it. Linked here. It went viral a few years ago, but I will also quickly give you a rundown on how I'm going to be doing it for this exam, which is pretty much how I've been doing it for all of my pharmacy school exams. This is a slide from my lecture slides, and I converted them into images, then I upload them into Anki. I use the image occlusion tool because it's the easiest way to make flashcards rather than actually enter in your details. So I'm going to use boxes to cover information that I want to memorize. So once everything has been highlighted, I'm going to select all of it, then group it, and make one flashcard. And then I'm done. And then I make this for each slide that I need to memorize. That's making a bunch of flashcards really quickly. My speed is actually 1 flashcard per minute, so you can really rip through a lot of lecture slides this way. And then the single day spaced repetition comes by doing Anki basically once to learn the material, get it in your head, and then I'll either review those cards before the exam, or in this case, because I'm not preparing a few days before the exam, I'm actually have like multiple weeks in anticipation, so I'll just be doing practice quizzes and mock exams leading up to it. This is how you can basically study 2-3 days before an exam and still do really well. That's what I did for basically every exam. I'm on my feet, which means it's time to do my Anki cards. You guys know that I have to stand up, walk around, use my arms when I do my active recall. So let's bring up my desk up to standing height. And this desk is from FlexiSpot, by the way. I absolutely love it. I will link it below if you guys are interested, and I have a code for a discount. So let's get started. Dinner was ready, so I ended up eating. Now I'm back. It is dark outside, but let's begin these Anki cards for dyslipidemia. So LDL cholesterol levels are directly linked to the development of atherosclerosis.
Said you like me too, but you won't. That body's killer. Satellite. Looking outside my window.
You'll see that I'm Google searching everything because I realized I don't remember a lot of the terminologies, classes of drugs. It's been a while since I've kind of like touched pharmacy. So I graduated June, but the last time I actually, did anything pharmacy related was a year ago. So it's been a while. So that's why I'm just kind of getting refreshed. And so it's quite shocking how much I've kind of forgot, but even just a quick Google search, it brings back a lot of the information. For these long lists that I need to remember, usually I would just write them out on a whiteboard to help with the memory. But then because I don't have a whiteboard, I'm actually just going to use my Samsung Galaxy Tab and just write them out to invoke my memory.
Seeing you in the sky, wanna give you a diamond, yeah, I wanna make you mine. Sending a sign from up above, 'cause I'm so in love.
My last Anki slide of the night. So it's on the clinical purpose of statins. So for the metabolism, simvastatin, atorvastatin, and atorvastatin, and lovastatin are metabolized by CYP3A4. Rosuvastatin and fluvastatin are metabolized by CYP2C9. And pravastatin is not metabolized by any CYP enzyme, and therefore it has very low drug interactions. Contraindications, it's not to be used if anyone with active liver disease or if they're pregnant or breastfeeding. Clinically significant drug interactions. Rosuvastatin uses contraindicated with cholestyramine, and I know because it's due to an increasing quantity of rosuvastatin. Is it? Cyclosporin and gemfibrozole. Oh, okay, let's try one more time. So as a little treat to myself, I'm enjoying a Haagen-Dazs vanilla bar. These are so good. I used to eat one like every day. Now that we're done Anki, I'm gonna eat this, enjoy, shower, and then I'm gonna do one practice quiz. They have 3 practice quizzes per topic, I believe. So I'm gonna do one tonight, one tomorrow, and another one the following day. And I'm gonna do that for each topic just to help consolidate and reinforce my knowledge. And then once I finish the cardiology block, then I'm gonna actually do the question bank problems.
Heart breathing, heart spinning.
Good morning. It is Thanksgiving weekend, so it's Sunday. It's quite gloomy outside, but I'm mostly gonna be staying in anyways. I have turkey for tonight, and I'm just gonna do some laundry. I love these new sheets that I got from Jysk, Jysk. They're like bamboo sheets, but they do stain very easily. So like things like drool or even like my Aquaphor that I put on before bed will end up getting on the sheets. And yes, this is a mattress topper, and be like, why do you have a mattress topper? It's not like a college bed or anything. And I actually never ended up using a mattress topper in college because I would always just bring my own mattress to my student apartments. But I got this from Jysk as well because it's a childhood bed. So I've been using it for 20 plus years. It's a spring-based bed and just wasn't comfortable. And when I'm here, I do want to have good night's sleep, especially, you know, upcoming for these exams. So I did get a mattress topper, and this is like amazing because it's memory foam. Like if I push my hand down here, you can kind of see the imprint, and it just melts in. I have the best slumber, and I do track my sleep with my Samsung Galaxy ring. So if you guys will see my ring here, this tracks my deep sleep, my REM, everything, and it's phenomenal. Like my scores are like 99, 100. I'll put a screenshot above. But it's just been really good. So I'll highly recommend improving your sleep. It's so important if you need it. We have some dim sum for breakfast. This is the Chen Fan. And of course, the chili oil, my favorite, laogama. Yeah. And then we have sumai and some sticky rice. So we're continuing on with the cardiology block, and we really need to get going. We really need to pick up the pace. On my schedule today, I have hypertension, atrial fibrillation, DVT and PE, which is deep venous thrombolism and pulmonary embolism, and then heart failure, as well as ACS and angina. So clearly it's a lot. I probably won't be able to get through all of it, but we'll just try and just pick up where we go from there. Start by making my Anki cards for hypertension, and we're gonna continue with the process.
Open my eyes, let my tears crystallize. I'm switching focus. It's tough letting go of the world that I know, but what I know
Cards are made. Let's study them now.
is sometimes it tastes like gold, but it's rotten. Sometimes a gauge can look like a key. Sometimes it takes your whole life free falling to be free.
I finally finished the hypertension cards. This took me so much longer than dyslipidemia because the pathophysiology is more complex, just because it's more things at play, like blood pressure, looking at both the heart and the, arteries, but also like there's so many other things now that are part of cardiovascular disease. So you got to take things into consideration like strokes or heart attacks, all have their different ways of treatment. But the good thing is that because I got introduced to a lot of those treatment topics, when I actually cover things like heart failure and stroke and angina, it should come way faster. Now we're gonna do some quizzes because I always get a little bit humbled by the quizzes, and I'll show you what I mean when I get to it, because I'll, know my cards, but then the quizzes are like, what? And also they're really fast. They give you, I think, like 15 minutes for 10 questions, which is a very tight turnaround time. So you gotta really pick up the pace, and you gotta know it or you don't know it. Which is good, I guess. It's preparing me to questions fast and think fast as well.
To be free. Sometimes you learn to swim when you're sinking. Fumble your words to find clarity. Sometimes it hurts, but I'm still beginning to be free. To be free.
I just did the quiz and I got a 50%, which is not the most positive feeling, but the quizzes are designed for me to figure out what I know and how those questions are going to be tested on. It's one thing to know the information and one thing to be able to kind of recognize the answer when given a scenario. So I ended up just doing a little more like memorization work. I'm writing down some of these algorithms. I did one for dyslipidemia, and then I just did another algorithm for hypertension just to help consolidate my knowledge. So we're gonna do the second quiz, and hopefully this will be better. But I'm not mad about a low score because these are just weak points that I'm identifying now instead of during the exam. I did the quiz again, and this time I got 90%, so I feel like I'm grasping onto the concepts. Now let's head for dinner. We're having hot pot for dinner tonight because it's getting colder. So we got a Haidi Lao mala soup base, so it's spicy. Then we have some oysters, lamb. This is geoduck, which, have you ever had it before? If not, the texture is almost similar to squid and it's really, really good. It's quite pricey, but so we're indulging tonight. And then we have some abalone and shrimp. I realized something. For my pharmacy school exams, I was really driven by fear and pressure because I would start studying maybe 2 or 3 days before the actual exam. I was in like crunch mode, anxiety up through the roof, and I just had to get it done. But for this exam, I have 3 weeks before I actually write it. And so that sense of urgency hasn't clicked in yet. And so I just don't feel motivated, which is so wrong. Like, that's not the right way to study, not the right way to prepare. But it's just something that I've realized, and I need to find some sort of ambition to cater to that. Because I'm not pumped up. Like I'm like lofty. I'm like, I really don't care. Like, but that can't be the case. Like, I need to lock in. I'm sweating so much right now because I have been looking at my study schedule and realizing how behind I am. And every time I do that, actually, it makes me stressed. Like, it actually starts to invoke heat in my body. But I did finish making my Anki cards for atrial fibrillation. I'm not gonna actually study it tonight because I have some other stuff that I want to get done. So I probably will start with that tomorrow morning. I also realized that I am not as efficient in my mornings, kind of loft around. So we're gonna make sure that tomorrow I don't loft and we wake up and we get started right away because we're actually like getting more and more behind each day, and I'm digging myself a hole that I will not be able to come out of. Good morning. I'm feeling pretty good today, even though I didn't sleep the best. I woke up 15 minutes before my alarm, and then I was in the middle of a anxious dream. Now, I can't recall what it was, but I know it was a dream that stemmed from anxiety because I woke up feeling quite stressed and agitated. Truthfully, I've been waking up stressed every day just because I think about all the stuff I need to do and how behind I am. So I do meditate. It's just like a 5-minute morning meditation for positivity. And it's been helpful, but it's tough. Like, you know, the thoughts still come through my head. And I know with meditation, it's not about having no thoughts. It's about letting those thoughts pass and redirecting your energy. And so there's a visualization that I do in the morning, and I can recommend it to you guys if you are feeling the same way. But essentially, we have a lot of this like stress, negative energy in our bodies, and the visualization is radiant, positive light going from the top of our head down through our body, pushing out the negative energy. And so we're basically replacing the negative with the positive, and I'm trying to really start my day with that visualization. But yeah, so it's been tough. It's really been tough. Like I said, I want today to be really productive. I want to finish cardiology today, so we'll do our best. And let's get started with atrial fibrillation. You might be surprised to hear this, but we actually don't need to memorize the doses of every single drug because that would be crazy. This exam is really testing entry to practice competency. So as a new grad, just becoming a pharmacist, what do you need to know as a bare minimum? And I guess one of the bare minimums that we need to know are the dosings for oral anticoagulants. So this would be like Eliquis, if you guys ever heard of it. And so I just made a little table here to help me memorize, and it's quite challenging actually, because not only do you have to remember the regular dosing of the drug, maybe 5 milligrams twice a day, you have to know how to dose it if the patient has decreased kidney function. So we call them renal adjustments. They have a creatinine clearance of 15 to 29. Then that Eliquis 5 milligrams becomes 2.5 milligrams twice a day. If they're under 15, then we avoid it completely, just because it's too high of a risk for like bleeding and other complications. So I'm just trying to remember them, but it's hard. And I think my strategy for this is really just writing this down on the exam. That's the best option, just to get into the exam, write down everything that you need to remember, and then just having it as a reference sheet almost. That's a strategy that I do often. I just finished atrial fibrillation, and as you can see, it's significantly darker now, and it just took so long. It's actually a really complex topic. Different drugs, and they're like not drugs that I would normally see, like things like flecainide or propafenone, sotalol, digoxin. Like I don't think I've ever actually dispensed digoxin as my entire time working in a pharmacy. So it's just the unfamiliarity of it that is hard. So yeah. A little check-in. I felt so stressed after my last clip because I felt like I was just not wrapping my head around AFib. It was like not ingrained in my head. It was so wishy-washy. And I actually went to dinner, Thanksgiving dinner, feeling awful. I was off. Like my parents knew it. Like I wasn't talking. I wasn't hungry. And that's the one thing that I feel a little bit bad about, because my parents were told me like, oh, we want you to stay here to study because we could cook for you and you don't have to worry about those chores and stuff. And I think that's like very lovely and very sweet of them. But at the same time, they get to see me at my worst because I'm not a pleasant person during exams. I'm very stressed, I'm anxious, and they're just seeing me in a poor state. They're my parents and they still love me regardless, like even through all the mood swings and bad times. But it's just like one thing that I've noticed. Like I know they want to just like support me and like cook for me, and like they keep saying, oh yeah, like we're making such good food for you. I really appreciate that, but at the same time I can't really enjoy it because I don't have an appetite when I'm stressed. Anyways, so I tried to just enjoy Thanksgiving dinner, and like halfway through I started to feel a little bit better, because there's no point of like stressing it and I don't want to put them in a negative space. I just tried to kind of, smile, and even like forcing myself to smile and laugh and engage in conversation made me feel better. Like that is an actual psychological trick. Like smiling, like the facial movements of smiling actually release positive hormones in your brain. I finish dinner and then I do my quizzes, which I always do after each chapter. I'm ready to basically like admit defeat on this chapter. But I actually do really well. I think I got like 9 out of 10 on the first one, and then I got 7 out of 10 on the other one, 8 out of 10 on the other one. So I'm very strong, but I will say I don't know specific details. Like I was kind of slipping through them, because you can still get the right answer even if you don't know the correct answer, because it's multiple choice. So if you're able to do process of elimination, or if you're able to pull in knowledge from other concepts, because it's all cases, right? So it's like by process of elimination and just kind of a bit of common sense, I was able to select the right answer, even though I didn't actually know the answer. So that's like one thing that I've realized, like my weak points. But then again, it's a multiple choice exam for a reason. So that's like how you need to strategically go about it, right? Like you don't need to know every single answer, you just know how to get the right answer. So that's like a multiple choice skill. I reviewed some of my dosing as well as my algorithms again, because it was a little wishy-washy, and I do feel a lot better after the quiz and going over everything. But I will say, like with my algorithms, I like literally see them in my head, which is exactly what I want. I know this was like a very long clip, but I just had a lot of realizations. It's getting late, so I'm going to end the night and then start the next vlog tomorrow morning. But I really don't feel good about this exam. I know that I didn't start early enough, and I keep thinking about that, like almost like I'm using that as an excuse to not give it my all. And we really need to stop that. And so I think realizing it is the first step, and acknowledging it, and then knowing that I can't do anything about it and I just got to do my best and carry on is the first step. So I'm gonna start that as the mentality for the next vlog. hopefully we can get through it together and it be a better few days than these ones. If you guys enjoyed this video, very realistic, I don't hide anything, please make sure to give it a like. If you want to continue following me on this journey, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you get notified every time I post a new video. And if you want to see more of my day-to-day life, you can follow me on Instagram at nathan.woo or TikTok at itsnathanwoo. That's it for me. I really need to sleep because my brain is fried, even though I feel like I didn't do much. It's just the self-deprecating cycle. These topics like do really my head. I really do. But I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.